This is Marc Tobias with Greg Gundelfinger, the CEO of Knowroaming. We're in Toronto, Canada, and Greg, I want to talk to you about the new technology you've developed and your startup company and figure out what you're doing and why. So you're a startup group that's been working for 2 years in Toronto. You've developed a unique interface for the SIM card in my phone.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly what have you done before we get into real specifics?
So we've developed a sticker which intelligently knows when to activate by being attached to the user's SIM card, thus reducing roaming charges.
Okay, so tell me, it's really a sticker. So this actually is a very thin overlay that will work on any of the really 3 types of SIM cards now.
Correct.
And so it doesn't matter whether you have an iPhone, an Android, it has to be an unlocked phone.
That's right.
So, but otherwise, there's an applicator that you provide. And it overlays, and then the entire sandwich, your overlay and my SIM card, is designed to fit in the SIM card slot.
Yeah, so that was the big challenge for us. I mean, we needed to create a sticker that would fit on top of any size SIM card, and then then still fit inside the phone's SIM card slot. And about a year into development, iPhone introduced the Nano SIM card to the market, which forced us to rethink our design, and actually caught us by surprise. We obviously thought that we had more real estate and then the Nano came out, and we had to miniaturize everything. But we were able to do that. But it's important for you to know that the 3 different SIM cards that exist in the market today, which is the Mini, the Micro, and the Nano SIM card, are electrically identical. There's nothing different about them. The only difference is that the Nano and the Micro may be thinner than the Mini, and they've got less plastic, but the pads are identical.
Yeah, the contacts.
The contact points are identical.
And the memory size is identical. So
yeah, some SIM cards have different size memory, but it doesn't affect the actual electrical contacts of.
So I've been running your SIM card January all throughout Europe, Iceland, the Middle East, and Canada on a iPhone 5S.
Yeah.
And a Verizon iPhone 5S. So that has presented some issues that you don't normally have with an only GSM phone. You still have some issues, especially as I understand it, with Apple and with CDMA phones.
Only with there's no issues. The problems that you are alluding to is the fact that you need to trigger the switch. We wanted to support both CDMA, which in the US is Verizon and Sprint customers, and GSM devices. GSM is more widely adopted, and on the GSM devices, we have a lot more control over how our technology works. On the CDMA devices, in contrast, there are certain steps that the user needs to take to activate our technology, and it cannot be done automatically. So on the GSM device, we know when you begin to roam, and we automatically switch you off your home SIM card and put you onto our Knowroaming sticker SIM card, and then log you onto our network, essentially switching off your home SIM card so you don't incur any roaming fees. That is completely seamless and done automatically. On CDMA devices, the user has to go into our menu and trigger the switch to actually tell us, what country he is in. This only has to happen once. So so if you are visiting several different countries, you just have to do the switch once, and then automatically we will switch you onto the appropriate profiles while you're traveling on the No Roaming platform. You will then need, when you arrive back home, back to the US in your instance, you would need to indicate to us that you are now at home, so we switch you back onto your home SIM card. On the GSM phones, this happens automatically, and we switch users off and on to their home SIM card without them having to do that step.
So, in my case, when I flew to England from Canada, I selected England.
Yes.
And then it worked. But there's also another step, because right now, and in the last month you may have rectified this, with regard to the no roaming profile, the APN profile.
Yes.
That also on a CDMA phone has to be downloaded before you leave home.
Not anymore. That doesn't have to happen anymore.
Not anymore, because that was a real problem for me.
Yeah, it still needs to be installed, but it doesn't
Right.
have to be done before leaving. And we've made that workflow much more user-friendly.
Okay, so really there's two components to what you guys are doing.
Correct.
One is the voice side,
Yeah,
and one is the data side.
that's right.
And now you're telling me that's seamless, so that, because in order to use data on a foreign network
Yeah,
with no roaming pricing,
yeah,
you have to download and install the no roaming APN,
yeah.
which is the access point name or network.
So this workflow is managed from the No Roaming app, right? So
Right.
the app is a dashboard on your or a point of contact on your phone that allows you to manage all these processes that are required. And we've really put a lot of thought into making it very easy for a user to be able to understand. And ever since your trip, you'll notice some significant improvements on the user experience side.
Yeah, because I did have some problems.
Yeah.
And we were communicating back and forth.
Yeah.
There was also some carrier problems.
Yes.
I was in Iceland and England and Europe, the Middle East, and some places it was seamless, some places it was not. So you have about 3,000 of these out now in
Not
beta?
yet. No, not yet. So currently we have we sold just over 3,500.
Yeah, okay.
On our website.
Right.
We did a crowdfunding project in the fall last year. We started shipping those units out to customers 2 weeks ago now.
Okay.
And the feedback has been very positive. People have started to use the service, and we want to just make sure that we are giving enough information that people understand what it is that they are required to do when they receive the package.
So you guys invested a lot of money in 2 years of time.
Yeah.
Why did you do that? What did you perceive would be the payback that would entice you to do this?
Well, before we got into this business, we recognized that roaming is prohibitively expensive, and that the range between the cost of a local call using a local SIM card and using roaming services was disproportionate. We wanted to find a solution that would enable people to use their mobile phones with as little inconvenience as possible, right? So we looked at all the different types of alternative roaming solutions that exist in the market. And this is a very well-established supply chain. And if you look at the roaming industry, this is numbers between $50 and $70 billion a year industry. And when you combine all the different alternative roaming solution providers in the world. If you go look at all the different types of alternative world SIM cards that give you, significant discounts, and you combine their revenues, you don't get to a fraction of the size of this market. And we believed that the disconnect was in the delivery mechanism of these services. So we set out to develop a technology that would, as closely as possible, emulate the roaming experience. And what we wanted to do was, give people, the ability just to stay connected without worrying about costs. And the sticker, as it stands today, has achieved that. So really what we have done is we've created a very efficient delivery mechanism of a second SIM card. That's what it is.
Okay, but so tell me really the difference between functionally your sticker, which is a second SIM card,
Yeah.
versus taking my dual SIM phone with a local SIM and my home carrier SIM and switching back and forth. Last year I wrote an article about the Samsung Duo, which is allowing everybody to do that. Because at the end of the day, first of all, your company is relatively new, so you don't have the customer base to get really optimal pricing from these local carriers. Some of your pricing is really good, some of it is not.
Yeah, so look, we focused on what we term corridors.
Right.
So where we believe our customers are most likely to go to, and would like to expand on that as we grow our customer base. Our prices are pretty much as high as they'll ever be right now.
Right.
In this business, it's all about volume. So the more customers that we get onto this platform, the better our prices are going to be. Something I didn't mention earlier is before the switch takes place on a GSM device, what we do inside the sticker is we set up a call forward to a local number in the country that the customer lives in. So automatically, when you arrive abroad, outside your home country, the sticker detects that you are now roaming, and then sends a notification to your home provider to please forward all your calls to this unique number which is assigned to that customer, a local number in the city that the customer lives in.
If you sign up for that.
If you sign up, it's a feature.
Right.
It's a feature, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I was in Israel, and for $3.50, you assigned me a local number for a week in Israel.
So it's part of the same offering,
Right.
But this is a different application. So we call this offering our connected numbers. So what happens is, as the user arrives in Israel, for instance, and he's an American customer, we will call forward all his American calls to an American number. Those will all be forwarded to the American number. Then we will switch the user over, the customer over, to our no roaming SIM card, right? And if anybody is trying to contact that customer on his American number while he's in Israel, then he will be reachable. We'll call forward the calls to the no roaming SIM card that is in use.
Right.
What you're talking about is if you want a local number in a country that you are visiting, right? So you want to issue friends and family a SIM card, a number to contact you on without having to incur long distance charges. Inside the app, you can buy local numbers in the countries that you are traveling in.
Which is a real advantage. That's the advantage of a local SIM card.
That's the advantage of a local SIM
But
card.
the flip side of that is with a local SIM card, let's say somebody in the United States that wants to reach you in Italy or Israel, whatever, they have to dial an overseas number,
Correct.
which costs them 35 cents a minute,
Correct.
at least.
Correct.
So, or more. In your case, your SIM cards run three numbers, in this case, in parallel.
Yeah, so exactly. So there's an ecosystem.
Yeah, you have a United States number, you have a UK assigned number,
Yeah.
and then you have one or more local numbers in countries that you pay for.
Exactly.
And
those are all linked, right?
Yeah,
So when you arrive back home and you've purchased an Israel number, for instance,
Right.
and somebody calls you on the Israel number, but you're not on the no roaming SIM card, and you are on your home SIM card, you will still receive that call. So it's a whole ecosystem that exists together in terms of the connected numbers feature that we offer you. So this is easily manageable, very easy to understand, and seamless. So what we do, right, is we know when you're home and when you're roaming.
Right, so you're going to forward it to your Verizon number.
Or forward it to your Verizon number.
Okay, but so it's not coming through the no roaming SIM card at that point. Your switching system is routing to your home carrier.
Yeah, so we'll find
Right.
so we call it connected numbers. So
Right.
we'll find you, depending on what SIM is active at that point in time.
Okay, so the major advantages for everybody to understand, one, you have call accounting, real-time call accounting.
Real-time call accounting.
So that means that I know exactly how much my data and my call costs are on a real-time basis.
So the whole idea behind what we've done is that we have brought transparency to roaming, and we are charging a per unit cost. So it's a per unit cost for a meg of data, it's a per unit cost for a call that you make or receive, and it's a call unit cost for an outgoing SMS. We do not charge for incoming SMSs.
And your corridor that you focused on, where is it? Or corridors?
Corridors. So we're pretty strong in most countries in the world in terms of competing against local in terms of competing against roaming rates. So if you're gonna look at roaming rates, we still have a very competitive offering worldwide. Europe, Israel, that you mentioned. Australasia, Asia, these are all places that we have competitive rates. Where we've got room to improve would be in South America, excluding Mexico. Mexico, we have a good rate, and in Africa.
So how do you, for example, I'm in Austria a lot. You have a 3 cent a minute or a 3 cent per megabyte data rate, which is vastly different than a lot of your areas. How are you able to obtain those kind of rates?
Listen, the wholesale market demands the wholesale market trades at a price point, and that's how these prices are established. How do we get a better price in one place than another? There's so many things that contribute to establishing a price with a network.
And you have roaming agreements now in 220 plus countries or jurisdictions.
Correct.
That's correct.
So we offer coverage everywhere, and we give a rate calculator inside our app where you can go in and see what our prices are in a particular country,
Right.
and you can do your homework and compare us to other solutions that are available to you.
So you can do manual least cost routing. I can select whether I want to use you, whether I want to use my home carrier.
Yes.
I can select the best.
Yeah,
Least cost.
You've got that. You've absolutely got that ability. With us, really, you can always resort back to your home SIM.
Right.
Because it's just one click of a button and you're back onto your home SIM card.
And on my iPhone even, it'll tell me I'm on no roaming or I'm on my home SIM.
Yeah, it's very important that you know obviously which SIM card you're on, so that you don't incur roaming charges.
So here's my last question. How does no roaming compete with what T-Mobile's just announced? I wrote an article about it, and I've been using their service also, 20 cents a minute in 115 countries. and no charge for data on 2G or 3G, and frankly it's mostly 3G now. How does any carrier, virtual carrier, how do you compete with that?
Look, I mean, T-Mobile has done something very disruptive.
Or innovative, depending on your perspective.
Or innovative. There are questions about sustainability.
Right.
About what they've done. Essentially, T-Mobile is just one network, and we believe that there are many networks throughout the world that cannot compete with this kind of rate. For us, we haven't seen the same kind of deal being offered anywhere else in the world.
Right.
So nothing beats free. So
that's correct.
I guess it's telecommunications is an arbitrage opportunity, and right now there's still a significant price difference between what different operators charge, and what we're trying to do is bring as much transparency to users as possible, and bringing in features like connected numbers and giving people real control over their spending. And this is a network agnostic solution. So you don't have to be with one particular network to benefit from our technology. Anybody can adopt our rates.
Any unlocked phone, or just iPhones and Androids right now?
Any unlocked phone.
So it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, as long as the phone is unlocked. They can use our service. We've got a native app for iPhones and for Androids, and then we've got a mobile app for the Windows devices, and we are working to enable BlackBerry services on our network, the older legacy devices.
Greg, have I missed anything?
I don't think so. I guess it depends on how you edit it.
Well, thank you very much. It's an innovative technology, and if you build the market share so that your call prices and data prices are reduced even more in certain areas, then it should be a good deal for the consumer. It just depends if you can get your user base to the point that you can extract some serious pricing advantages to compete with local SIM cards.
That's right, and that's probably where something like this could possibly go. So we're seeing this in the EU, where prices are being regulated, heavily regulated. Which they're adopting the kind of American no roaming kind of attitude. So yes, I mean there are many opportunities with this kind of technology, and there are many markets as well.
So for corporations, it's call accounting, it's reducing roaming costs, and it's interoperability of phone numbers.
Exactly. So for the corporation, what the corporation really likes about our technology is that we are completely segregating the overage roaming charges from the user's personal account. With the trend of bring your own device, corporate liable devices are becoming less common. And people have to go through quite a tedious administration process to be reimbursed. By using our sticker technology, the enterprise can be billed directly.
Right, and last question. Once I put money on my account, does it expire?
It doesn't expire.
Okay, so there's no usage requirement.
There's no usage
So it won't run out in 3 months, 6 months, which is typical of some of the
we don't. So
carriers.
exactly. So what we don't do, and this is something that would happen with a local SIM, is that these SIMs will be recycled, and they will expire. So you may have experienced this by buying a a local SIM for a particular country, and then when you go back to that country, it no longer works. With our system, once you've been issued with our account, it does not expire, and it will always be there for you to use at your convenience.
And you don't have to pay extra for a U.S. number and a U.K. number.
No, we issue a UK and a US number with our SIM cards.
And I guess really last question, you have the option in a lot of jurisdictions for dial through or callback.
Yeah, so exactly. So for customers that want to reduce their costs even further, they have the option of using callback. And callback is essentially the user makes a call directly from their dialer. Our sticker cancels the call and sends a message to our servers to say that you're trying to reach this number, and the user then receives an incoming call connecting you to the person.
And how's the voice quality?
It's equivalent of a normal outgoing call.
So no difference.
There's no difference.
Greg, thanks very much for your time, and it'll be interesting to see where this technology goes.
Thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks a lot.